The Viking guy will not eat in jail because he can't get organic food.
Yeah.
Fill in your own snowflake liberal. Fill in your own liberal joke there.
Mm-hmm. The only reason I don't storm federal buildings is because the gluten-free options in prison are atrocious.
Did I seriously? So these are our liberal justices. So I think a judge ruled they have to feed them organic food. Huh? Did I read that? I think a judge ruled.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so the rioter in the Viking helmet that would not eat organic food.
Yeah, and his mother, whom he lives with,
who storms the Capitol with their mother? The guy with the zip ties stormed the Capitol with his mother. Is there a bigger group of losers on the earth?
But his mother called him a patriot and a very gentle person. Yeah.
Yes. The QAnon supporter's mom, Martha, was quoted as saying he gets very sick if he doesn't eat organic food. He needs to eat. I have an idea, Martha. How about raising your son not to be a terrorist lunatic, to be a domestic terrorist? And then maybe the food might be secondary to what? Okay. I can't. We've been called liberal snowflakes. Yeah. They've made fun of us. All the Whole Foods jokes for how many years, really?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. F his dietary restrictions,
I had to put tape on the U in the MFR. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I did tweet, though I am very grateful as a thrifty liberal that I am getting use out of all these impeachment T-shirts again. Thank you, two-time loser, two-time popular vote, twice impeached, loser. Wow, are you a big loser? Am I getting tired of all the winning? How about you guys?
So tired.
It's exhausting.
I don't know if I'm tired because of all the winning or because of the COVID. Who can say?
Right.
Or getting up at 3 a.m.
Or morning radio.
Yeah.
it might just be all the winning. Okay. Wow. Twice impeached. It's a whole new feeling this morning, isn't it?
It's historic.
Yeah. So Mitch McConnell remains a rat effing turtle bastard. But because you can't trust him as far as you can throw his shell. But some people are saying he may be doing us a favor in not doing the trial now. It's a Democratic controlled Senate. I mean, they're saying the chances he's going to get convicted are really pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Travis was saying yesterday that there are up to 20 Republican senators who may be voting. Yeah. There are rumblings about that. So that's a great chance.
And I got to say, time has not been their friend so far. Right, Travis? Like, there is more and more coming out on these Congress people that may have helped. And, our friend Sean Patrick Maloney said, I can confirm Mickey Sherrill's, report that he talked to people who saw them giving tours the day before. First of all, how is this the party of law and order when they don't want to obey any frigging laws or rules that apply to anybody? There's been no tours of the Capitol because of COVID. They're not allowed since March. And so the only way you'd get into the Capitol is if a member walked you in.
Right.
Well, so, there are a lot of questions here on these. I mean, this Boebert lunatic, this woman, the QAnon congresswoman, who's now saying she's going to file impeachment articles against Joe Biden.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's the QAnon, right?
Yeah. There's blonde crazy and there's brunette crazy.
I'm sorry, right? Brunette crazy. Oh my God,
brunette crazy, your type. Blonde crazy, not your type.
This is what this party has become. There are a bunch of Sarah Palin knockoffs. These rootin' tootin', I love to go shooting, just crazy dumb bitches. I'm sorry, they're just anyway. But the one is going to file impeachment articles against Joe Biden. I mean, Matt Gaetz is on the floor calling for unity while calling them the Biden crime family. I'm like, this party is just so now. Nancy Pelosi, God love her, is, lowering the hammer and saying there are going to be fines of $5,000 the first time, $10,000 the second time for evading a metal detector to get into Congress. And good for her. It comes right out of their salary.
We made it. What a show of a year 2020 was, right?
Oh, God.
Sexy liberals, assemble!
I had short hair. Now look at this. I'm like Joe Exotic's mullet donut.
She's got no rhythm. Do you know how much we spent on a dance lesson?
You have what? I'm just saying manhood-wise, like a tiny, like a shriveled cheetah.
Room. Oh my God, you're great.
It was the night before inauguration.
Well, since Kellyanne had to leave the White House,
you had to leave your project.
We had to scale back a bit. I know that we have been in the press a little bit as a family.
Fake news got a little less fake for us.
Yeah.
It's a transition, like anything in life. How's dinner?
I'm gonna cut into my gin right now. Claudia is, we're working on it.
Yeah! She's got no rhythm. Do you know how much we spent on dance lessons? We're gonna make TikTok. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show you what it's like.
Mommy and Daddy are gonna play too.
Let's go boom. Let's go boom.
Good morning, Malcolm Nance. Getting ready for your congressional testimony, of course, on I assume the subject is terrorism, but specifically white supremacist terrorism.
Well, I think the technical term that we're going to be using today is insurrection.
Yes.
Insurrectionist. And believe me, I have a lot to say about it because, as I will announce on the Stephanie Miller Show, I wrote a book about this over the last 6 months, and I will give you the working title. The working title was They Want to Kill Americans.
Wow. I would like you all to line up one at a time and kiss Malcolm Nance's ass for being right about everything and trying to sound the alarm. Malcolm, everything you've talked about. I mean, and again, I don't know exactly what you're going to say to the Black Congressional Caucus here in a few minutes, but first of all, why was the head of the FBI or the acting attorney general not at this press conference yesterday? What did you think of this press conference?
I actually preferred that it was done that way, so they bring the Eye of Sauron over to find them out as they go to destroy the ring. Just send in some low-level minions, make it look like it's street-level arrest, but in fact, they are laying the groundwork for seditionist conspiracy. And based on what the U.S. attorney said, Donald Trump Jr.'s whole family, or Donald Trump's whole family, every person who spoke at that rally, everyone who helped organize that rally, including people like Charlie Kirk, who organized 80 buses to go up there.
Can I just throw a point in here? Yesterday, we played the audio of Sebastian Gorka yesterday. That was at Charlie Kirk's event 2 weeks ago. Right. They outlined the event, and that's where Charlie was recruiting people to come to this event.
Yes, this was a planned coup. They had a plan to throw this into the states to actually just to subvert our democracy, Malcolm. And so yesterday, you're right, the wording they use is the FBI is working with U.S. attorneys' offices across the country, crux of those being in D.C. We're looking at significant felony cases tied to sedition and conspiracy. So that wording, and I think other wording they use, you're right, does go to that this is going up higher, right?
It is. And let me tell you, as you know, I monitor right-wing communications and their organizational communication channels, their structures. And I started writing this book 6 months ago. and I swore I'd never want to write another Trump book. But I felt that I had to write this particular book because it was about how they were turning into not just some of them as terrorists, up and coming terrorists. They were creating an insurgency, a political insurgency and a paramilitary insurgency. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I had wrote that, that if Biden had lost, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the Boogaloo Boys, they would have become an unofficial paramilitary of the Trump campaign. They would have become the brown shirts. But now that Biden has won, they are going underground. They are sort of like Saddam Hussein's insurgents, the Saddam Fedayeen. At some point here, and the reason that I've shied away from the use of the word terrorist, though feel free to use it as rhetorically as possible if you feel you were terrorized, and that I've stuck to insurrectionist was the attack last week, right after the Stephanie Miller show, where we talked about this, was an insurrection, an uprising, a violent uprising against the United States. Where they're moving to now is a long-term war, underground war against the United States, and that's an insurgency. And what's going to come out of that insurgency is a political arm where Trump and all of his minions keep trying to destabilize and delegitimize the Biden administration. Then will come paramilitary action and mob action, and finally, and most likely quickly, terrorist attacks.
Malcolm, I said this yesterday, this is obviously a critical, terrifying period, and the inauguration being a particular target. But I said, we're going to deal with this long after that. But I heard you on TV. I know Joy Reid asked you yesterday. I mean, a lot of us are saying, why not put this totally inside? Why not make it totally virtual? I mean, I keep saying, I get it, we can't, make it look like we're scared of terrorists. It's like, counterpoint, who cares? You seem to say that you were confident, even though there were elements of military and police that were involved in this insurrection. Tell us your feelings about the inauguration. Obviously, the FBI is warning about a lot of things.
The FBI is warning about a lot of things. They discuss some of the terrorist tactics. One of the things that I haven't heard about is the potential of indirect fire, which is what we call mortars, rockets, propane tanks that'll be lobbed in there just as distractions. But you can't guard against everything. But I feel very confident now that, that the Capitol will be secure. It'll be an event-free thing, although I've read that there are 17 pro-Trump groups that have put in permit applications. They are blanketly all being denied, and I'm going to be having a discussion with the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser, soon to be Governor Muriel Bowser, I hope.
I hope, yeah.
And we're going to be discussing security there. So it's pretty secure in this city right now.
We made it. What a show of a year 2020 was, right?
Oh, God.
Sexy liberals, assemble!
I had short hair. Now look at it. I'm like Joe Exotic's mullet donut.
She's got no rhythm. Do you know how much we spent on a dance lesson?
You have what? I'm just saying manhood-wise, a tiny, a shriveled cheetah.
Room. Oh my God, you're great.
Was the night before inauguration.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelton, and I'll take this off. See? Comes on and off quite easily, actually. Yeah, the pots and pans, banging them, awesome. And we are honored to be here to care for you. Here, never at our home. You looking for something you can do, a way you can be a part of the solution? How about you just do this? How about you just do this? Stupid. I don't want to wear a mask. I can't take it anymore. I would like to apologize for my earlier conduct. You're fucking mess and stay the home. How about a little less applause, a little less banging in the pans, and a little more wearing of the fucking masks? I'm coming. I'm about to start stapling these masks to their faces. You want to know the truth? That's what I'm about to start doing.
Happy day after second impeachment. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm just, the second time around is always, I just have a special afterglow. And I guess what else I have an afterglow from? During the break, I got to listen to more of Out in Left Field. And you are a delight, ma'am. Your podcast, Out in Left Field on the Sexy Liberal Podcast Network, is fantastic.
Thank you very much, my dear. I enjoy doing those. My guests light me up, and it's always nice to spend an hour laughing and sometimes crying with some of the most amazing people on the planet.
Yep.
I get to have my friends in my ears now that I'm in COVID lock. Because what I was thinking is after a year of lockdown, I'm like, what I need now is more isolation and actually getting COVID, because that will be super fun. So I did. So
you're such an overachiever. I mean, if you weren't such an overachiever, Steph, you still might be COVID-free right now.
Oh, wait, Sean, can you find the phone message? The phone message. Dana, this is because I think you have a bird's eye view to how it's all in perception. Do I have a sad little life? Yes, in some ways. Am I a sad little single lady that has COVID? Yes. But did I get this phone message on my machine? Because all we said last week, my only dream was, I'm so looking forward to boring, and we do not have Joanne Worley saying boring. And so this happened.
Hi, Stephanie Miller, Joanne Worley calling you. Lily Tomlin just called me and said that you wanted a boring.
That's fantastic.
That's the best phone tree ever, by the way.
I mean, Dana, magical life or sad little life? It's such a fine line, because who does that happen to?
It is magical, my dear. You should also raise the bar, start asking for lottery numbers, like really, really get this going.
Yeah.
If people are going to deliver stuff to you, you need to ask for more.
I just love that Lily Tomlin immediately calls Joanne Worley with like a state of national comedy emergency. She needs a boring right now, Joanne. Call her now.
Boring.
They're fabulous women. Fabulous women.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Oh my
who's
God.
not a fabulous woman? Not a fabulous woman, Mitch McConnell. He's not a fabulous woman.
But Lindsey Graham.
Well, you pointed it out, Dana. You were saying, BS. Turtle, you could Amy COVID Barrett in 2 days. Really? There's no time now for an impeachment, right?
He's such a master at manipulating the press. He's not going to do anything. He wants everyone to pay attention to something else, distract. Look, we're going to get them out. And you know what? He's counting on Republicans' rage lowering. He's counting on to being able to now blame the Democrats for not focusing on the agenda and instead focusing on impeachment. He is a diabolical, evil genius, always has been. And if he were to actually vote to convict Trump, it would be proof, hands down, that there was never blackmail. There was never anything incriminating. He's just this horrible of a human being unless people take away his money.
And we were saying our version of it out here is slimy Kevin McCarthy, who has not a principle in his body. He was running around asking other Republicans whether he should ask Trump to resign. He's begging Nancy Pelosi for censure. And here he is, he was just on Fox News, Dana, a week and a half ago saying Trump won this election and we're not going to stop fighting. And here he is yesterday on the House floor.
I believe impeaching the president in such a short time frame would be a mistake. No investigations have been completed. No hearings have been held. What's more, the Senate has confirmed that no trial will begin until after President-elect Biden is sworn in. But here is what a vote to impeach would do. A vote to impeach would further divide this nation. A vote to impeach would further fan the flames of partisan division.
Oh my God.
So overturning the will of 81 million Americans was unity. That was not divisive, but now
every single one of these mother effers is the abusive husband that beats his wife, and then when she's going to call the police, honey, but you'll break up our family. Is that really what you want to do? You don't want to break up our family. All of these guys and some of these women. I'm like, what kind of unhealthy relationships have you been in your entire life that this feels normal to you?
We made it. What a show of a year 2020 was, right?
Oh, God.
Sexy liberals, assemble!
I had short hair. Now look at this. I'm like Joe Exotic's mullet donor.
She's got no rhythm. Do you know how much we spent on a dance lesson?
You have like what? I'm just saying manhood-wise, like a shriveled cheetah.
Room. Oh my God, you're great.
Was the night before inauguration.
won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And the people of Georgia are angry.
Oh, boy.
The people of the country are angry.
So much fun to watch.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated.
The Steeler way.
Now, do you think it's possible?
Me personally?
That they shredded ballots in Fulton County?
I'd probably be lying if I said no.
Because that's what the rumor is. And also that Dominion took out machines.
It's a mystery.
That Dominion is really moving fast to get rid of their machinery. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know. I know during the season isn't the time to think about it.
You sure, Ryan?
Ben.
You should want to have an accurate election.
I've been doing this for 14 years now. I've seen the highs, the lows in football, and just being able to understand that it's a fun game, but it's just that, it's just a game.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have, not even close. You're off by hundreds of thousands of votes.
It'd be lying if we said that every part of this is fun. But you need to try and make it fun.
You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense.
I knew I just had a bad day. It's just one of those days. We all have them. We've all had a bad day at the office.
And you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you and to Ryan, your lawyer. That's a big risk.
I'm not into all the center of attention, but I'll enjoy watching him do it.
But they are shredding ballots, in my opinion, based on what I've heard, and they are removing machinery, and they're moving it as fast as they can, both of which are criminal fines, and you can't let it happen, and you are letting it happen. I'm notifying you that you're letting it happen.
They were trying to get me to, on Thursday, they were talking about some celebration they wanted to do and get me involved, and I said, no, guys, I'm not doing it.
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Do it in a dirty kind of way.
What are we going to do? We won the election, and it's not fair to take it away from us like this.
Not quitting, not giving up, not being able to.
And it's going to be very costly in many ways.
Not very.
And I think you have to say that you're going to re-examine it, and you can re-examine it, but re-examine it with people that want to find answers, not people that don't want to find answers.
People talk a lot about the brain, mental health, CT, all that stuff moving forward, and sometimes those symptoms don't show right now, because we don't know about what's going on in our heads. So that's, I think, more of the scary part is what's the future hold for our heads.
For instance, I'm hearing Ryan, and he's probably, I'm sure, a great lawyer and everything, but he's making statements about those ballots that he doesn't know.
He's a kid that works really hard. Like, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. If he does, he corrects it, won't make the same mistake twice. And then you're going through a walkthrough, and everything's real serious, and you're walking through, and you're talking about something, and next thing you know, like, he's on the ground diving for a ball or rolling around, doing something like completely off the wall silly.
But he's making them with he did make them with surety, but now I think he's less sure because the answer is they all went to Biden. And that alone wins us the election by a lot.
We're still not sure if he really lost his bike or did he just want to get a new bike?
Well, under law, you're not allowed to give faulty election results, okay? You're not allowed to do that, and that's what you've done. This is a faulty election result. And honestly, this should go very fast. You should meet tomorrow.
We carved pumpkins this week.
The people of Georgia know that this was a scam. And because of what you've done to the president, a lot of people aren't going out to vote.
Take a knee.
And a lot of Republicans are going to vote negative because they hate what you did to the president. Okay? They hate it. And they're going to vote. And if you would be respected, if this thing could be straightened out before the election. You have a big election coming up on Tuesday.
It's a mystery.
John Wick ran out of Moroccan oil. It's terrible over here.
And also, your Jesus at Studio.
Really douchey TA at Slytherin House. That's what my hair looks like.
You look like Jesus at Studio 54, which is, you're giving me an epileptic seizure with whatever's going on in your apartment. But hello, good morning.
That's how it works for me. It's got to be decadence at the same time. Let me tell you, excess in moderation, people. That's what you need.
It reminds me of my nights at the Limelight in New York. Good Lord.
I did a couple of those nights from Hot 97, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Limelight.
Limelight.
John.
So that was a nightclub. Now it's a fast food place.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's nice to know my personal comedy Jesus also prays. You said on Twitter, Lord, let us live long enough to see these two turn on each other. Trump not paying Giuliani's legal bills. Oh, dear.
Yeah, how great is that? Listen, what's the more uplifting moment, really, for your heart? Luke Skywalker coming to help Baby Yoda, or Rudy and Trump turning on each other? What's going to save our souls more? It's beautiful. It all starts to happen. They're all going to start turning. Think about all the stuff that's come out and all the stuff that will be out in like the next month.
Yeah.
And you've joined the same parallel universe we have. You tweeted, when the moral leader of your party is someone raised by Dick Cheney.
Oh.
What is happening, John? What's happening?
I mean, what's happening is that this is the chickens coming home to roost for this party that made a choice 40 years ago to instead of changing their policies to win in a democracy, to try to beat democracy. And now they have had to embrace so much ugly to do this for 40 years that obviously Lindsey Graham was a prophet. And if they made Trump the nominee, it'll destroy the party. And it's happening again.
Yeah. Your predictions tend to be dead on. And you said the next week is going to be the last week of Nixon meets the last act of Scarface.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
John, you and I have consistently said, and I still, wouldn't rule out anything, but that I've said at the heart of Donald Trump is cowardice. I would not rule out he resigns at the last minute. When he is told just how serious this is, that it's not just impeachment, he can go to prison for this, and that a self-pardon will not hold. What do you think? Are you still holding to that? You feel like there's still a chance he will resign?
Every night on Sirius XM, I have this conversation, and I first said that Trump was going to resign the day after Election Day 2016. I still feel the same way. I think that Mike Pence is going to get to have a shorter term than William Henry Harrison. I've been saying for a long time, Joe Biden better have some 47 stationary around. Look, when you look at what's happening right now and the fear in Kevin McCarthy's heart that you've got like major corporations and banks all pulling their funding, saying that they will not finance the campaign. They won't donate to any incumbents who voted last week to overturn the votes of millions of black people. And we can't forget the white supremacy is a part of every level of this. These were white men in Congress voting to just throw out the votes of non-white people in states they don't live in.
And storming the Capitol with Confederate flags. Like it could use a little more subtlety as a plot line.
And by the way, the very same week began with Donald Trump getting his first ever veto override ever, which should have been the big story, because he was willing to not fund our military in order to honor dead white supremacist slave owners. Like, that's how last week began. It's inseparable. And now Josh Hawley, you know how many people Hallmark employs in Kansas City? And now Hallmark is cutting off all their donations to Josh Hawley. They wrote him a card. Roses are red, violets are blue. Bitch, where's our money? You helped start a coup.
There's a card for everything.
A lot of
they are good, those Hallmark people. They're good.
That is when you care enough to send the very best.
When you care enough to defund the very worst.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I was saying, John, I have a lot of trepidation about next week. What's your take on Chris Wray? So the FBI director, Chris Wray, finally spoke out, broke his silence a week after these riots. He said that identified over 200 suspects in the riots and arrested more than 100. Obviously, extremists who were on the federal terrorist watch list were in D.C., some of whom, of course, suspected white supremacists. I get they were trying to project because he was there meeting with Pence, right? Pence clearly is acting president already. I mean, they're trying to project calm. He's briefing Pence on inauguration security, but John,
I'm just to project that. Yes,
I'm just saying I have a lot of trepidation, just given that everything, the timing of all of this. I just am still of we should make this whole thing virtual. Given all the events and the fact that I'm sorry, this is Donald Trump's DOJ and FBI and etc. I mean, even this National Guard that have been sent in, they're trying to figure out who among them are sympathetic, right? Pentagon warns far-right extremists are recruiting inside the military. This is something they've known a long time, John, right?
I mean, the military had to ban the Confederate flag last year. You're right. Chris Wray, I was starting to worry about him. I didn't know if he was still around or not. I was most worried about Chris Wray and Melania's body double, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Joe Biden said in his the night he won, we are going to root out white supremacy from police precincts. And I thought, I've never heard a president say that. Root it out from the police? Who's going to be the police if you get rid of all of them? Yeah. I think on one level, it's a lot of talk, but I'm not worried about next week's inauguration at all. There will be, I believe, more troops in D.C. next week than there are in Iraq and Afghanistan combined.
Well, right, except this story, right? Far-right and white supremacist extremists are actively recruiting in the U.S. military and have gained more support over the past year. Yes, the Pentagon has said it will launch an investigation into the extent in U.S. military ranks. We know that some groups actively attempt to recruit our personnel into their cause or actually encourage their members to join the military for the purpose of acquiring skills and experience our military force. So the problem is this is in 5 days, John. Yeah. That's part of my trepidation.
I'm not really worried about Inauguration Day itself. I'm more worried about the next 10 years afterwards. I'm most worried about the next 2 years and how to get everybody to vote in 2022. I'm more worried about that. I kind of feel like in the right-wing chat rooms, the word is, don't come to D.C. It's a trap. It's a trap. They're going to try and get us. And I would also advise you.
Yes, and by the way, China and George Soros paid John and I to say that. Yeah. It is a deep state. It is a deep state trick. It's a deep state trick. We're telling you, it's a deep state trick.
Thank you very much. Yes, and I can't even leave my basement. The Soros cash is piled so high. But I would advise you to just remember Alamo.
We made it. What a show of a year 2020 was, right?
Oh, God.
Sexy liberals, assemble!
I had short hair. Now look at this. I'm like Joe Exotic's mullet donor.
She's got no rhythm. Do you know how much we spent on a dance lesson?
You have I'm just saying manhood-wise, like a shriveled cheetah
room. Oh my God, you're great.
Was the night before inauguration.